Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the next edition of SPAC Chat. Corey is not here right now. I don't know if she's going to be able to jump on. She had a personal emergency she had to deal with this morning, and I want to make sure that we get to the meat of the matter. So I want to thank you for your patience in allowing us to get this set up. We are running a little behind schedule, so we're going to get started really quick. What we're talking about here today are the pre-conference sessions for SPAC 2025. That's held at the end of January, as you all know, South Point Hotel. We got a special announcement today from PhotoLinks, ImageQuicks, and the family of companies, Photo Merchant, Skylab, that they are now under a single umbrella name of Captura. And I hope I got that right. Of course, I'll get a call from Tim or somebody if I didn't, and they're welcome to chime in. But anyway, there's so many changes that continue to take place. What we're going to get started with first is with Lance, because he has a special schedule he has to get on to get out of here. So he's got about 15 minutes with us. We're not going to take that long in him telling us what he's going to be able to do with his session. Pre-con sessions can be signed up still. Even if you've already registered, you can still go back and sign up for a pre-con session. We have both full-day sessions and half-day sessions, and I'll try to chime in and say what this session is as we have our presenters share with us what they're going to be what they expect to be able to accomplish during those pre-cons. The pre-con sessions are $99 for the half-day session and $149 for the full-day session. So it's a value add that we've been able to do over the past couple of years. And all of our presenters are volunteers from within the industry that are committed to helping other people succeed in their business. So without further ado, hey, Lance, introduce yourself, introduce what you're going to be doing. Tell us what the value proposition is for what you're going to present at SPAC 2025.
Yeah, thanks, Calvin. So for those that are online, I'm Lance Sullivan. I own Concept Photography. I'm based on Vancouver Island in British Columbia, Canada. I was lucky to be a speaker there last year with my staff, and we just really wanted to showcase, how we work and how we get our stuff online the exact same day, and work with our software providers and with our labs and stuff. So we had fantastic feedback. We had people sitting on the floor last year, just sort of absorbing and wanting more. So I had a number of conversations with board members saying, would you be into doing more of a full pre-con? Because I spent the majority of the next 2 days sitting out in the hallway kind of helping people. So yeah, it was really cool. So I partnered with my good friend Lee Simmons. Him and I work very, very hard to get out of our studio by 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock every day with a school, whether if it's 1,800 or 300. We utilize Blueprint and Skylab and our local Canadian lab, and we've just created real seamless workflow. So for this year, we're doing a pre-con on going through our full workflow, how we do all of our retouch marketing, how we sort of set it and leave it. So for those people really that are Blueprint users, that are Skylab users, that want to integrate with their lab and just have everything set up properly. So yeah, we're going to go through all of that. Basically, we do our grad this way on extractions. We do all of our sports. And yeah, we've seen our cost of our staff go down because they're not working late nights. And last year, the big questions were always, show me how you're going to get out of the studio in the same day, because there was a lot of people challenging us on it. And there's a couple people that we've supported through Blueprint, wanting to move over from other providers. And I talked to one today, and they're just like, man, I have saved so much time in my life by just making these few kind of tweaks. So yeah, Lee and I are really, really excited to just kind of blow up Blueprint and show how we do it and utilize all those beautiful things that they've kind of integrated with all the other softwares. So yeah, so it's a pre-con, people are starting to sign up. So yeah, and we're just going to try and keep it really, really collaborative, Calvin. And we're just going to try and hopefully people come in with lots of questions, and we can just, so that they can leave feeling confident. which is
Sure.
super important, right? And a very viable investment where sometimes you go listen to speakers and it's like, well, that didn't really resonate with me. So being able to partner with Skylab and with ImageQuick's Blueprint now under a new envelope, yeah, we're super stoked. So
Fantastic. And one of the things we have to be, I recognize that your workflow is based on the Blueprint workflow and processes within their within their family groups. However, the idea, the technology, not the technology of that specific software, but the understanding of the technology and how it can be integrated and implemented so that you can reduce workloads and streamline to the point of getting images up online same day. That might be able to be applied with other available tools. However, this is going to specifically look at the Blueprint platform and how it's allowed you to do that. And
yeah, totally, Calvin. And I mean, there's some fantastic providers out there, and we always encourage people to really talk to them about some of their challenges and stuff. And I've been with Tim back from the Flow days, and TJ Rack said many years ago, he said, like if you're not online doing a proof system now, like you're going to be behind. And I see in a lot of the social stuff being online, people doing a lot, like we don't do any prepay up here. We do a full proof system, and our numbers are fantastic. We have a very heavy marketing campaign, 32 touch points a year, which will go through. We've got our Black Friday and Cyber Monday weekends coming up, which are always great sales. And, so we're just like any other company out there now, and really looking at kind of, I hear a lot of, well, I've been doing it this way for 30 years and it seems to be working. But for me, I just, I want to take on more schools. I want to grow and I want to integrate with technology. And I'm still young in my early 50s to go, okay, I can still understand this. And by taking advantage of that, we can add more schools to our portfolios. We're getting a lot more sports associations, and I couldn't grow any other way. So
use the tools from the experts that have put them together, and it will help you. And also, we're going to move on because I know you got to go.
Yeah.
The cost, I oftentimes talk about the costs that are inherent in the online platforms because of the fees and whatnot, and they have to make their money too, right? In my mind's eye, everybody has to make money, otherwise the beast doesn't eat. The beast has to eat, otherwise it dies. And so, the money piece of it is justified in the ability to push the orders up faster, get consumers their orders faster, etc. Get the viewing of proofs. So that's a very, very positive thing as well.
I don't need a marketing team. I don't need a marketing team anymore. Like I don't need to have a full marketing dedicated team. I don't need to have subscription fees for constant contact or any of these email campaigns. Now it's just insane. And I mean, I work out of probably 150 square feet in my garage, and we're a $500,000 a year studio, but I don't need a lot of space. I don't have a packaging department. Everything gets drop shipped directly from my lab to my clients. I never ever see it. So everything's automated, right? As soon as it's up in the cloud, I'm out mountain biking.
And for the old timers, seeing the work, you had to look at every piece. Not anymore. It's a whole different world.
Yeah,
it's a completely different world.
We'll go through that, right? That was a big part of my talk last year. It's just like letting go of our ego and really embracing change. And, technology is smarter than us in many ways, although we write software, as humans, but there is stuff that just makes our life a whole lot easier. So,
and with the advent of with AI and the rapid transition that it's causing throughout every industry, folks, it's going to get easier and easier to be more productive. So Lance, I appreciate you. What was the name? What the name of your session? Do you recall?
I believe ours is getting sales online same day.
Okay.
Yeah, just like what we do. Our parents get emails by 4:00 and people are buying by 4:05.
Outstanding.
Yeah,
Outstanding. All right,
awesome.
Lance. Good luck on your
Thank you,
whatever
everybody.
you're about to jump into.
Okay, man. Cheers.
All right. Hey, so I had to get Lance in and out because he had an engagement that he was going to, and we started a little bit late. So let's get started with the rest of us. What I want to do before we even get started, though, let's run around the table and introduce yourself, please, folks, so that folks know who you are. They're supposed to be looking at a screen that they don't. So who are you? Talk to us. Go first, Everett.
All right, hey everybody, my name is Everett. I'm with Photo
Everett.
Day Zombies. Oh, can you hear me? Everybody can
Yeah,
hear me, right?
we're
Okay.
good.
I'm with Photo Day Zombies this time around. I'm going to be coming to SPAC to really teach PixNub because there are so many users who are just uncertain with how to get the most efficient workflow using it. So that's what I'm coming to do.
Oh, using with the PixNub product. And if you're not familiar with PixNub, that's a software product that was developed by Damon. And it is, quite frankly, it's a revolutionary product in the way it can be used and how it's being used by photographers all over. It's not necessarily a free plug, but it's just to give them familiarity with PixNub. It is a subscription service, and they take on new clients seasonally based on the drop off in clients. And that is so that they can provide reasonable service or good service to their end user clients. So what are you going to, you talked about the workflow of PixNub. What do you mean by that? Because I know that they're branching, they started out in the sports arena, at least when I first became aware of them, in the sports arena with backgrounding and putting data on the images and that sort of thing. And where are you going to be now? Because they're going to they've introduced some things with composites for schools and that sort of thing as well.
Yeah, so my pre-con, we're going to kind of cover all of the various plugins that PixNub offers. There's a bunch of minor plugins such as like a face crop, extraction tools, hot folders, workflow helpers. All of those are kind of minor plugins that are available within the PixNub suite. So we're going to start on those because a lot of those are kind of like the pre-initiation to the really heavy workflow that utilizes PixNub. And so I'm going to take it step by step. So whenever you start, you're going to work through this piece of the process. And basically, we're going to build up to where you touch on the really heavy hitters. And what I mean by the heavy hitters, it's going to be your easy team builder. Your easy team builder is going to be, it's a little plugin that allows you to have just your extractions in a single folder, and it just builds the team for you. You don't have to resize every image. You don't have to manually place it. You don't have to figure out, oh, this coach is too tall. I need to move him back here. This plugin is going to do it all for you. So we're going to touch on the plugin, how to build teams, as well as what each of the little adjustments and fine tuning can be. Then once we have that team piece built, we're going to really touch on the sports photo automation. Sports photo automation, as you said, that's where they started. That's honestly the real workhorse when it comes to handling your own post-production and the back end. So we're going to touch on the various ways to use sports photo automation. It can be run without a CSV. It can be run with a CSV. The difference is what all can you do. Without a CSV, you're kind of running one team at a time, one template at a time, maybe a couple hundred images. But if you run it with a CSV, then you can run your entire job in one fell swoop. Hit a few buttons, send it a few thousand images, and you're going to come back with thousands of finished product.
Even with different backgrounds, if you so desire. You can
different
plug
backgrounds,
that background file
different
data in. Yeah. So it's all about the setup and how you get it how you get everything set up. And it's data driven, but the results are absolutely phenomenal. That's my experience.
Yep, and we're going to do hands-on demos for everything. I'm planning on having a folder that all of the attendees can download and they can actually follow along during the workshop. This is a workshop, so it's not going to just be touching on everything and showing you. I'm actually going to help you with your own workflows if we have time. If not, we'll do the one-on-one coaching. I'm going to show you what you're doing wrong, how to make things work better, give you little tips and tricks to make it more efficient.
Got it.
And then after we do the sports photo automation, the other side of the house you kind of touched on is the Easy Composites, right? Easy Composites is basically these um, typical school class composites where you have all of the students from a single class in some sort of layout. So we're going to touch base on that. That also is the same thing. We're going to show you how to run it without a CSV, with a CSV, using the memory mate feature. Talked to Damon today. He's got some more features coming out for it that I'm also going to include in the talk. I'm actually working with him. He's helping me review everything because I don't want to leave any of my attendees leaving more confused than when they came in. We're going to touch on the most important critical things so that when they leave, they have a good idea of what they need to do to get really accurate automations going for them.
So, in summary, it's going to be an intense review of the tools as well as teaching of the tools in a half-day seminar. Correct?
Yes, it is a Pixnub bootcamp in a way.
Pixnub boot
I'm
camp.
all familiar with boot camp, so we're going to make it work.
First time we've had a Pixnub boot camp. I like what you did there, Darren, sir. That was good. So, hey, folks, for $99, you get a half day of direct contact with the tools that are necessary. And I'm certain that there's going to be some demo as well as assistance if you're having a challenge with that piece of software. Look, if I can learn the software because I had to learn it as a result of personnel not getting something done. If I can pick it up and learn it within a few days, anybody can. I'm on the old side of the spectrum, right, Brad? Leave me alone, Brad. I don't have any hair, so you can't tell. But the point is, you will get an intense understanding of what Pixnub can offer and how to use it. And there are things that you're going to be able to use it for that you didn't even imagine previously. At least you did not imagine that it could be done in a hands-off manner once the data was put together. So, Everett, thank you so very much. Say your name again so that I make sure I say it right in the future.
My name is Everett. Everett.
Yep. Okay, Everett. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much.
My pleasure,
So that's a
Calvin.
half-day seminar with Everett, and he's going to be covering the Pixnub programs. Let's talk to Laura. Laura, you're
Hello.
there with Barksdale Photography, and you're going to be sharing with us some information on training for results. It's a management kind of conference or kind of seminar. Talk to us about it, and it's also a half-day seminar.
Yep. So it's my favorite topic, training people. I've been in the photography industry for years, I think I'm going to hit 30 years. And training has been my main job and role there. And so if you've ever had any of your photographers or any other of your staff say, you never told us this class is for you. It's really, whether you are training every season, one or two photographers, or you're training hundreds of photographers, training matters. They've done polls of people that work in any type of organization. The number one reason people stay engaged with a company, stay engaged in their job, is because they have the ability to do well at their job. And that all starts with training. And with this type of industry, we have such a small amount of time to get people ready to be what they're going to be doing every day. And there's so many pieces to that. There's, the equipment, the actual photography itself, the paperwork, the processes, customer service. And it's so much information. And if we just throw all that information at them, it's like drinking through a fire hose. Mm-hmm. It's just impossible to retain all that information. So my course is really designed on how do you break up your training and deliver your training in measurable bite-sized pieces so that people can retain that information. And then how do we really get people to buy into everything you're doing? Everyone's probably had somebody who you've told them how to do something and you've shown them how to do something, but until there's that buy-in and where everyone's on the same page and everyone knows the expectations and knows how to do those expectations, you have performance issues. And so it's really getting people on board, excited, And good training is what retains staff. When you've got a good training system, people become a team, they're more engaged, they just have more consistent good performance. And so that's what it's a lot of stuff in the small amount of time, but I've written it up so that people can retain it and have easy ways to really put that into practice right away.
And so your retention, based on the training that you've been doing in over many years, so that you know what retention has become, have you improved your retention as a result of improving your training processes?
Absolutely. I mean, if you think about it, with any time you hire seasonal staff, you
Mhm.
know that there's going to be a higher rate of retention.
Yes.
And I've had many years where I didn't need to hire
Wow.
because I had such a good retention of photographers
Mhm.
and retained the good photographers, the ones that were the good hires. And
Outstanding.
and not only has it been a better retention of photographers, it's a happier group of photographers because they know how to be successful. If you think about this job, I mean, it's not an easy job.
Hmm.
It's early mornings, it's
Yeah.
dealing with all types of customers, it's dealing with different age groups. It's a different place every day. It's not a simple job. It's back-breaking hard work. Nobody stays in that job if they don't want to do a good job, if they don't want to be a photographer. It's giving them the tools so that they can be successful. And then really it becomes an ongoing event. If you're expecting training just to happen for a few days in a classroom, that's not what training is. It's a process throughout the entire relationship you have with that employee. And this class, while my experience is mostly geared with photographers, the tools could help with training for anybody. If it's office staff, people on phones, customer service, sales, it's anybody who needs to produce a product or produce a skill set or do anything for your company. If you want to have consistent performance done in a specific way, this class is for you.
And it's funny, but at $99, this is a class that you don't get at school. They don't teach you how to do this as a part of your college graduate education. This is practical knowledge that's created success, and it's scalable success. With you at Barksdale, you're running how many photography crews at this point?
Oh, I mean, we're across. I mean, we've grown so much. I don't have an exact number, but I mean, hundreds of photographers.
Yeah.
And we had certain areas. We had a couple areas this year that were all brand new areas.
Wow.
So it was completely new staff. And we had to have where they were trained on everything from step one, including the people who were going to be leading the staff. And the hiring and the actual beginning dates of photography were right on top of each other. And so we had quick turnaround. And so it was, how do we reduce? What do they need to know now? And what's the stuff that's ongoing? And what are the checks and balances of how do we get so that training is a consistent process? And how is it scenario based? So we have them engaged in the training. So we know how they're going to react in any scenario that's going to come upon them. We really do a lot of scenario based training so they know cause and effect. If I do this, this is going to be the end result. If I do this, this better thing will be the end result.
Okay, I'm going to stop you here. And the reason I'm going to stop you is because you're getting into the nitty gritty of what your program is going to be. And it sounds like it's going to be tremendously valuable for anybody that looks to build their business. There's a lot of people that I'm the only one. I do it for myself, etc. But we all know that that's really not a way to scale the business. I oftentimes refer to it as a hustle. Are you in business or are you in a hustle? When we do it by ourselves and we're the one that has to be there the whole time, it's classified as a business, right? However, it's a hustle. If you're not out there on the street, you're not making any money. And the idea is to build a business enterprise, much like you see a franchise or a company, to build a business or enterprise where you're the investor and you are the CEO, the lead, and you have personnel that are going to effectively get the project completed. And that's what you're talking about. Hey, this is going to help you in your desire to grow your business, but even beyond that, in your desire to secure your business, because a business that's operated on a single person is not a secure business. And we have to start thinking like that, and we have to start communicating like that as photographers. If any of us get sick, what happens to our operation? Do we still see revenue? Do we still see, the money coming in? Are we going to succeed or not? That's really critical in all of our lives. And I think it's something that we need to focus more clearly on. So that's a half-day session, and it's going to be training for results. It's about management. It's about training people for consistency in the work product, whether it's internal or external. That means in the offices or in the field as photographers. Laura, thank you so much. And I thank the company for providing you and getting you out there to do this for us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, Brad, are you working with Bob on your program, or Cheryl?
Neither.
Neither? Okay, we'll talk to
Sadly,
Brad.
they're both great people, but no.
What are you? Yes, they are. What are you bringing to the conference?
Yeah, great. Well, hey, I'm Brad Scott. I'm regional manager for Interstate Studio Franchise Company. What we do is we fast track people into school photography, either wanting to grow their business, like you were just mentioning earlier, with processes, and also bringing people into the industry or moving people from sports into schools. So that's what I've been doing for the last couple of years and really enjoying it. I want to thank SPAC for allowing me to assemble a group of independent owners and professionals in sales training. And this is just going to be a terrific course. We did it a couple of years ago. We sold out. I'm sure we're going to sell out again this year. We're only allowed to take on 50 people. The way the course is set up, because it's very inclusive, it's very tight-knit, and you learn a lot that way. So the name of the course is Sales Training, Master Volume Photography Sales. It's a round-robin affair where we have 5 stations, only 10 people per station. That's why only 50 people. And you have a trainer / facilitator, and we talk about specific topics. And you rotate around the course of the day. So it's a full day course. It's going to be well worth the $149 speaking to these people, and you're going to get a lot out of it. So if I could, I'll introduce the 5 stations real quick and let everyone know kind of what they can expect to learn. The first station, one of the first stations will be sports. Jeff Gump will be heading that table. For those of you, he's a well-known name in the industry, of course, 25 years sharing his experiences. And he'll be talking all things sports, from marketing to get business, new products, that kind of thing. So you'll learn a lot from Jeff. And I want to say that's the goal of this class, is to give you the fundamentals and guidance to get new business. That's what we want out of everyone that signed up to help facilitate and train, is all about you getting new business. And I feel that's something that a lot of people come to SPAC to try to learn, and getting this head start at the pre-con will really be a benefit to you as you go through the rest of the conference. So that's Jeff. Okay, then we start off with Diane and Danny Rabalis. They've spoken at SPAC many a times. Yep. Husband and wife team. For some of you that are husband and wife folks that are in this business, want to come here and have a conversation, how do roles work? How do you work together? I think they've got it nailed. And so that'd be one thing to learn. But what their main topic is product knowledge. A lot of people come into this industry not really knowing what are the services schools require. And so get a head start on that so that you know with confidence when schools talk to you that we need this or that, you've got it. You know how to deliver it. You'll deliver it. Your presentation will be better for it because you're prepared. And so that's what they're going to talk about. The second thing they're going to talk about is, if you can't get the new school, what are other programs these schools are doing that you might be able to jump in on? The smaller ones, so they get to know you, get to know your service, personality, your quality, and they'll be introducing all those other sub-programs that you can go into schools and present well for. So that's going to be a really great table. I know a lot of people can't get the entire school or district, but there's sub-jobs you can get. if you approach it right. Okay, then we'll walk into next Jamie Ford, who again has been a speaker at SPAC a number of times, specifically on this topic of how to walk into a school and talk to a secretary. And what kind of information are you trying to get to move to the next step in your sales process? What questions do you ask? How do you build rapport? You know, all these things. And then how is it that you as an individual will be able to solve these problems? So Jamie's going to bring that to the table. Then once you're moving along that process, the next one is a presentation. A lot of people don't know how to give a presentation. So what do you need to know? What materials should you have on hand? And so Alana Rose from Alabama is going to be talking about that. She's going to be talking about how she presents and what you need to know and how you put forth and what questions you ask during the presentation in order to get a clear picture of the services you can offer and the school understands what you can provide them. Lastly, I'll have a station as well. It's creating an action plan, a sales plan, so that when everybody, you know, all the big companies out there, all their representatives all have sales plans. They're all organized. They know what they're going to do every day. And it's like for all of you photographers out there, if you look at a photography shoot, you know exactly where you go scout the location. You know where the traffic flow is going to be. You know what time of the morning or afternoon or evening you got to be there to set up on time. It's a plan. That's how sales is as well. And so we're going to create that at my table where everyone will share their individual plans as they're going along, so that when you walk out of there that Monday after the conference, if you want to start that day, you know exactly what you need to do to get moving forward. And you're not spinning your wheels. You're not missing time. Progression. And we hope with all those different steps. And lastly, before I finish here, when we're all done with the afternoon courses and everyone's rotated around, we'll actually give you a live demo of a sales presentation. And so so you can actually see how it takes place, what are some of the top people doing, and you have a good idea what your competitor might be doing at a school. And so anyway, I think it's going to be well worth the $149. And I hope you all sign up, and I hope you sign up early so you get your spot.
Hey, I wish it was that type of seminar, that type of round robin was available when your dad was a part of the SPAC organization, Frank. I wish certainly that kind of thing happened. Many of us cut our teeth unknowing what was needed, you know.
That's right.
And personality was the thing that got us through the door, as opposed to a structured plan. And we built successful businesses, on that. But what you're speaking of is how to do it easier, structured, and systematically, so that, frankly, you can actually bring others in. Again, using the training that we spoke about a few minutes ago, you can actually bring others in to help in the sales cycle and process. So I think this is going to be extremely valuable. And at $149, it's better than spending money at a table or anywhere else. Hey, I like it, Brad. Thank you so much.
All right, well, thank you. And thanks again for SPAC for letting me pull this together. Appreciate it.
Well, no, you've been a supporter of SPAC since for as long as you and I have known each other. You've been a strong supporter, and I have seen your support of this organization and this industry actually grow over the years. And you are now in a position where you're giving back in a way that so many people have the opportunity, but you're stepping up and doing it. There's a difference between opportunity and action. And I think that you're absolutely in the action category. So thank you so much for your continued engagement. Hey, Bob. Yes. I'm going to be a little sexist, okay? I'm going to Cheryl first.
We're together, so maybe we'll talk at the same time. I have to touch back though on the PixNum presentation. I already learned something because I've been calling Averett Brian for like 3 years.
Wait! You want to? I call him Averett too. By the way, Calvin, and he yelled at me. He yelled at me and said it's Averett.
On screen, you don't have to yell at anybody.
I will
no more Brian
up again.
It's now Averett. I'm sorry.
Averett. There's too many Brians in the world.
Yeah, we call him by the name his mama gave him. Okay. favorite.
We can't
That
say
would be
that on air.
Brian.
Oh, you can't say that. I'm sorry.
We can't say that live.
Oh, not what she called you afterwards. That's on the birth certificate. Anyway,
Ah.
Actually,
Cheryl.
if you
What
look at her
is?
phone, I'm in her phone as the brat. So
Okay, there makes sense.
Shocking.
All right,
Shocking.
Cheryl and Bob, you guys are going to have you're co-hosting a seminar, co-managing a seminar, or one of the pre-cons. It's a full day pre-con. Come on, tell us what it's about, because man, it's lining up in such a way. Right now, I want to be on the Pixnub piece, but I got to jump into the Brad's process too, with those the round robin kind of situation. I need to jump in on that too. So, what are you guys doing to mess my head up?
I don't know how anybody's going to choose because there's so much.
There it is.
Cheryl, do you want to start? You want to start?
Well, ours is basically a full day of just somebody who wants to go the next level. So you already know how to composite. You already know how to shoot teams, and we want to take you to the next stage. How do you work the most efficient, make the most money? We're going to have amazing models there. I'm finally going to have some beautiful dancers on site that I'm really excited about. And Bob's going to make them put on, like, get out of their tutus for his side. But we're just going to have a lot of fun. And you're really just going to, for somebody who wants to deep dive into, like, not the 101, but like the 102, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like, we're going to talk about, choosing the right workflow to be able to scale your business. So a lot of people do paper order forms and this and that. And that's, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're looking to hire, have multiple stations or be in 2 locations at once, then your personnel requirements scale accordingly. So we're going to try and show studios how to structure your business so that you can scale it efficiently. And scaling doesn't necessarily mean hiring more people and doing that. It can be things like, like I'm just a sole proprietor. It's just me. Cheryl, same way, pretty much. But, we work very, very efficiently so that we can take on a ton more business than if we were doing it inefficiently. So it's things like, how are you going to do your sales of your products? How are you going to tag your subjects? Because, in volume, it's all about data and keeping track of who's who. So what's the most efficient way to do that? What's the most efficient way to structure your equipment setup, your shooting bay? Are you going to do composite or traditional? And why they're different, but why is one maybe better than the other for scaling your business and being able to hire people to take on more business? When to outsource. And outsourcing, could mean, it certainly means online sales, but it can also mean graphics creation. Do you want to use Pixnub and do it yourself? Do you want to outsource to Averett and have him do it for you with Pixnub? Do you want to outsource to a company like, NextGen or Robuku that does it all? There's just different choices. And all of that comes into factors to when you consider how you want to scale your business. But talking about like things like virtual assistants and, say you just need somebody to answer all your customer service requests. Well, what about using a virtual assistant? Yeah. Oh, chatbot. Yeah. They don't even need to live in your area. It can just be someone who filters all of your questions and such. So there's a lot of things like that to consider, but we want to teach studios and photographers how to take their business maybe to the next level with more employees and more accounts, or maybe just maintain what they have and do it more efficiently and less work and make more money.
I also think that, like, what Laura touched on excites me, what she's talking about, because I know when I got hurt, I had to learn how to take a step back and manage and hire people and get them in place. And what happened in the long run is I could do a shoot without me there. So when we talk about the scaling side of it, was, oh my God, now I could not only do a shoot without me there, I could run 2 locations. Oh, wait, I could run 3 locations. So you could stay and be small boutique volume, or you could grow. And I think that's what's exciting about this, is talking to somebody that starting out as a sole proprietor all by themselves and showing them how they can transform into the next stage. And same thing, we get into the multi-posing and all of that good stuff. And Bob and I are both huge multi-posing people, and he does the boy stuff, the stick and ball stuff, and I do the girl. And that's why it works so well, because it translates into both worlds. It's not just my world is very, when Bob and I are shooting, we shoot almost the same, which is what's so neat, meaning that you can be in the dance world and not know anything about dance and still be a very successful male photographer. So, or if you're used to stick and ball, it can transform. Or if you're in the girl stuff, but you have this opportunity to shoot your son's soccer, you can. So I love that we play off each other really well in that. And Bob's the technical, as you all know, and I'm the fun. So there's that.
That worked. Hey, it's interesting as you talk about the scalability and the training, and Laura touched on this also, or leads into this, and that is that, as we scale our business, as we grow our business, as we decide to take a step back, the training process and understanding the management process is a critical component to continue the revenue stream. You don't have to walk away from the business. You've cultivated business over many years, perhaps, and you have accounts that are solid accounts, and you decide, hey, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired. I want to retire or whatever. The reality is you can continue to operate a business without being personally on site doing the work. I speak to the issue of, people oftentimes say, I can't go to SPAC. I've got a job that week. Well, first,
Right.
put the job off. Second,
Right.
are you systematized so that the job can continue to be done in your absence? That's really
Right.
critical. And it's something that we as small businesses oftentimes get caught into the idea that nobody else can do it. If nobody else can do it, you're not charging enough for what you're selling.
Yeah.
Which is pricing. And I think pricing is something so ignored. And that's a big part of this is, do you value yourself? Are you charging the right amount of money?
That's right.
I mean, so many photographers out there undervalue themselves that I literally want to shake them. It's not, stop giving away the kitchen sink. Like, it's time to earn your value. And I think that we're going to touch into that. How do you charge that? Well, it takes all of these things to charge that. You can't just walk out with pricing if you don't have all the things to back it up.
A lot of photographers, they look at the price of an 8x10 at $1, and they say, well, if I charge $10 for that, I'm doing great. I'm making $9. And they forget about all the other things that come along with it. Paying any help you have, taxes, self-employment tax, retirement contributions. Do you need health insurance, or are you lucky enough to already have it? Those things, they can eat that. They'll eat that $9 up in an instant.
Yeah.
And, so it's a lot of people, I agree, they very much undervalue what they should be charging for their cost of doing business. They don't realize what their actual cost of doing business is.
And neither do their customers.
Yeah.
No, never.
Casey Kincaid has already signed up for 101. You can see that on screen. She
do
wonders
see
if
that.
102 is what she really needs. You actually need both. 101 will give you some foundational and shall we say, cause you to rethink some of the things you're already doing. 102 will take you to the next level. So I'm not sure. Are those half-day seminars or full day?
No, full day.
I don't know. Both of them are full day. So
yeah.
That's a push-pull. The best part of this process is to bring two people, and one person hits one and the other person hits the other, because the investment that you would be making in the attendee fee, in this particular pre-con fee, the investment that you're making is an investment in you growing the business. We oftentimes get caught up in how much does it cost to go. It's how much can I make if I do go is more important in my mind.
It's life-changing.
Is it going to help me generate more revenue to support whatever I'm trying to do? And that's really the question. So I appreciate that, but I wish we had a better answer for you. But it's just one of those things where we're in that kind of situation where we have to have the seminar. We can't, or the sessions. We can't run them more than a single day. Otherwise, we don't get what we really want. So that's a real good one. I want to thank you each for again continuing to support SPAC, to volunteer, and thank you, Natalie, for saying it's really life-changing. It's challenging, but it's changing. So thank you very much for joining us today to share what you're going to be doing with your pre-con sessions. I find value in everything that each of you had said. And I I wish the heck I could be a part of them. You know, I don't know if you guys are aware of what's going on, though. I got a special email for SPAC from the Panasonic Fuji folk, and they were speaking. They're talking about their camera, the S5 II, I think it's called. But anyway, it's a very excellent camera, and we've run tests on it. And they're running a special up until December 24th. And I'm going to try to get some information out to you. But basically, for less than $2,500, you will get a full frame camera with crop lines and with everything that you need for doing schools or sports. We tested the cameras out here in our office and have been extraordinarily happy with them. And the price point was so good that's a price point when you consider 2 additional lenses come with the body. That's an extraordinary price point coming in at around, it's $2,500 or a little less. So just, we'll get some information out to the association. They are one of our sponsors, our vendor sponsors. And so we want to make sure that folks know about special deals that come along of that nature. All right. So without any further ado, I think we all need to, well, some of you on the East Coast, time to go home. Some of us on the West Coast, we got some more work to get done. But thank you for joining us. We hope to see you next week here on SPAC Chat Live. We'll try to be on time. We hope Corey recovers from her little episode that she took care of today. And again, thank you very much for joining us. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.